welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Melanie. If you'd like to get to know me a little bit better, all my social media links will be down below in the description bar, so be sure to check that out if you're interested in seeing what's going on in my life, mainly reading updates. But without further ado, we're gonna jump into today's video, which is my May haul. So May, I was very much spoiled, and I'm very grateful to so many of the publishing houses who ended up spoiling me this month. I am super grateful, and I cannot wait to get to these books. Just a quick thing, also one of the reasons why this haul is so big is that because I started working with a brand new publishing house. The publishing house that I started working with was Abooktropolis, which is a Afrikaans publishing house that specializes in South African / Afrikaans books, and they sent me a whole bunch from their range from children's books 3 and onwards to adult romance and fiction. So I'm going to show you those books first. A huge shout out to Abooktropolis for giving me these books, and I'm really excited to jump into them. I've already started reading. I've read 2 of them so far, and I'm ready to jump into the next one. Just a quick little extra thing, I will not be reading these titles. I am terrible at Afrikaans these days because I'm so used to speaking German and English that Afrikaans has just been like a mishmash of English and German words and some Afrikaans words that I know. So I'm not going to be reading the titles because that would be very embarrassing for me, and it can only go downhill if I do so. So we're going to jump into all the Afrikaans books. The very first book that I have here is this picture book. It is such a cute read. I've already read it, but I absolutely loved it, and it has amazing illustrations. The pages are of high quality, and like I said, I really enjoyed the story, but we're gonna keep going. The next book that I have from Alapa is this one. This is Lyra. This is about a mermaid. So this is part of their adult fiction or fantasy. It is probably one of the biggest Afrikaans books I've ever seen, but I'm super excited for it because I think this is going to be a fantastic read, and I think it'll be perfect for when I'm really into Afrikaans. The next book that I got is this one. This is part of their romance collection, or their sub-publishing house called Romanza. So I'm very excited for this. I'm a huge reader of romance these days. Here is another one that is also part of their romance collection. This is one of their fiction titles, and this is also one that I'm very excited for because I think it's going to be a very interesting read. And it's definitely a lot smaller than Lyra. And then much like how you get Mills and Boons for English people, you have these short stories from Romanza as well, which I believe you can also get in a collection if I'm not mistaken. And I also can't wait to get to these. I feel like these will be really great December reads because they'll be super easy to get into and get out of and just have a really good time with them. The next thing that I have is this omnibus or collection of 4 stories. Is this? I love these collections because the books tend to be quite short. Like as you can see, this is not a particularly, it's a big book, but it's not a ton. It's only 500 pages and there's 4 stories. So I'm very excited for this. The next book is also a collection, and this is probably one that I'm most excited for because when I was a lot younger, I actually read South with Scallops and Chocolade. So I'm very excited to see how that series continues because I really loved the story, and I think that it's absolutely great for young people to read because it has intrigue, it has a little bit of romance in it as well, and I just think it is going to be a fantastic read. I remember how the first one ended, and I absolutely love it because it's also about mysteries, and I really can't wait to continue reading it. The next book that I have is this one, which is part of a series. I think this is the 21st one. These are really short books, which I think are absolutely perfect for getting into the swing of Afrikaans books because, like I said, I haven't read them in a while, so I really can't wait to get into this because I think it will definitely help me with sentence structure and just reading Afrikaans in general. The next book that I have is one that I'm very excited for because it's one of his most popular books right now. In fact, I believe they're actually using it as a set work at schools, and that is this book by Jaco Jacobs. Jaco Jacobs is a famous, super popular Afrikaans writer. He specializes in children's books or young kids, not necessarily adults. I don't know if he has written adult books. If he has, let me know. I will definitely be interested in getting those, but I'm very excited for this one because, like I said, this is a super popular book right now. A lot of people are reading it, and I can't wait to read it myself. Another Jaco Jacobs books that I've have and that I've actually read is this one, which is Drog Awesome. Here is another book. This is a book that was in English, or I think it was in English, and then translated by Jake Jacobs as well to Afrikaans. I'm also very interested in this one. Once again, the book is filled with illustrations on almost every single page, and I can't wait to read it as well. Another really popular author in Afrikaans and children's Afrikaans books is Fanny Viljoen. And this book is actually being presented by one of my good friends, Ami, and she absolutely loved this book, so I myself cannot wait to jump into it. It looks really interesting, it's nice and short, so I can't wait. This is also part of a series. This is the third book in the series. And the next book that I have is a collection, I believe, of all the stories in Jamie and Sebastian, and this just looks like such a cute story. Once again, there are amazing illustrations in this book, and I cannot wait to jump into this collection. Then the very last book that I got from Lapa Uitgevers is this book, which is Shaka Rising. It's an English graphic novel about King Shaka and that story, or that part of our history. And these illustrations are absolutely amazing. This is by Luke W. Mulver. I cannot wait to jump into this. I really enjoy reading graphic novels, and I'll definitely be reading it this month because graphic novels are such a quick way to either boost up your reading goal or just, you know, something to help you out of a slump. So I'm really excited for this. Once again, a big thank you to Lapa Uitgevers for giving me all of those books. I'm really grateful, and I can't wait to get to all of them. Like I said, I've already started with the reading, and I can't wait to read more. The next 4 books that I'm about to show you, I actually am borrowing from my optometrist. I went for an eye test recently, and I was like, I always talk to my optometrist about my reading things, and she's quite a reader herself. So she offered to lend me the books in the Fallen Angel series, as well as the Bourbon King series by J.R. Ward. Is the one, this is Immortal by J.R. Ward. I believe this is the last one, and I told her that I only needed the last one, but I was wrong. I actually need from Envy up until this one, which is Immortal. I only thought there were 3 books out. I don't know why, but I'm clearly wrong. I then also have the entire Bourbon King series, which she highly recommended to me because she said they were really good, especially since they were along the lines of Consumed, in terms of that they weren't necessarily fantasy, but they dealt with like family drama, which I quite enjoy those kinds of books most of the time. And J.R. Ward writes romancy books, so I'm very excited. And the next couple of books are books that I actually received from Jonathan Bull Publishers, so a big thank you to them for sending me all of these books as well. I'm very grateful, and I cannot wait to get to them. I'll definitely be getting to some sooner rather than later, but nonetheless, I'm really excited for all of these titles. Much like in previous videos, or much like always, I love requesting thrillers, but I have a problem because I never seem to be able to get to them. But this month things are changing, and that's all I'm saying, is things are changing. The first book I have to show you is in fact a thriller, which is Their Little Secrets by Mark Billingham. I'm very excited for this. This sounded so interesting, and I can't wait. This is the 16th book in the Tom Thorne series, so if you're interested or you've been following the Tom Thorne series, this is the 16th book. The next book that I have is The Doll Maker by Nina Allen. I love this cover. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I think I just like the way this book sounded, and I'm very excited for it. The little tagline is a love story about becoming real, which I think is quite interesting, and also this book is very fluffy. The next book that I have is Varkenhurst by Michelle Paver. I have no idea what this book is about right now, but all I remember is when I read it, I was like, yes. And also the name just sounds so interesting, Varkenhurst. So I'm very intrigued to see what this book is all about. The next book that Jonathan Bull Publishers sent to me is Kala by Laura Legg. This book is a lot thinner than what I thought it would be, so I'll probably get to this a lot sooner because lengthier books kind of scare me, but I'm really excited. This book sounded amazing, and so I cannot wait to jump into it. I'm a big believer in staying up to date in your country's politics and general current affairs, so I requested Lawfare by Michelle LaRue and Dennis Davis because I believe that, you know, knowing what your country is up to is very important. And Michelle LaRue and Dennis Davis kind of jump in through a lot of what's happened in our country, in South Africa, starting with, you know, the Rivonia trials, like going back in our history and also looking at what is happening right now and talking about very important topics. This is a nonfiction, so what I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably end up reading a section by section because I'm not the biggest fan of nonfictions in terms of political nonfictions and political affairs. The next book that I got from them is Fugitive 13 by Rob Sinclair. I actually have Sleeper 13 on my shelves. I have yet to read the book, but I'm really grateful that they ended up sending me the sequel because I'm pretty sure I'm going to love the first one. This follows a really cool character. I don't actually know what the book is about right now because I have the memory of like a goldfish apparently, but I'm very excited for this nonetheless. I'm probably gonna jump into the Sleeper 13 and then into this almost straight away. Another book that I requested was The Boy and His Dog at the End of the World by C.A. Fletcher. I thought this book sounded really interesting, and even the title alone just kind of grabbed me. This cover is really gorgeous with a really pretty orange. In my opinion, like there are so few books that do orange well. The next book that Jonathan Bull Publishers sent to me is Flex. This is by Annie Auerbach, and this is just about a manifesto for rebel women, and I like reading nonfictions like these because I think they make for interesting reads and little tidbits that you can add to your life. So I can't wait to get into this, and this hardcover is absolutely gorgeous with the foiling, the gold foil. The very last thing that Jonathan Bull Publishers sent my way is Arkham Unbounded by Brandon Sanderson. This is a collection of short stories or little excerpts from some of his work. For example, he includes his graphic novel White Sand in this book, as well as Edge Dancer, which was originally specifically created for this book, but he ended up publishing, or the publishing house decided to do a separate publication for that. So I'm really excited for this. I mean, just look at the list of books that are in here in this really short book. I say it's short, but it's 500 pages, more than 500 pages. It's actually 670. Definitely not his shortest book, but also not his longest. I mean, have you seen Oathbringer? It's like 1,000 pages. Hang in there, we're almost at the end. The next book that I got is The Crowns of Cresswell by D.E. Knight. I actually was supposed to receive this last year. The package was sent in August. It took about a wonderful 9 months to get to me. That's how amazing our postal service is in South Africa. But I'm really excited to jump into this because this book has a ton of hype surrounding it, and I think that it will make for a fantastic middle grade read. The next book that I got is Renegade by Mallory McCartney. This is the sequel to Black Dawn, which I'm actually currently reading. It's a reread for me, but I'm really excited to see what happens in the sequel because I believe the first book actually ends on a cliffhanger, and I must know what happens. The next two books were sent to me by Penguin Random House South Africa, so a huge thank you to them for providing me with these books. The first one I have is Beauty Sleep by Catherine Evans. I've seen a lot of publicity for this book by Usborne, and I cannot wait to get to it because retellings are a really big thing right now, and I definitely cannot wait to jump into this one, which is obviously a Sleeping Beauty retelling from what I understand and what I've gathered. So your girl is excited. And the next book that they sent me is Sea Fire by Natalie C. Parker. I've actually read this. I also got Sea Fire, which is a novel about a group of girls who are rebelling against the current government. I definitely think this is one of those books that you should pick up because it's highly feminist and highly interesting. Okay, we're entering the last stretch, which I'm super excited for. These are the books that not I personally purchased, but my dad purchased for my university course. I do an English lit course at my university. It's part of my degree. It's what I hope to major in. And these are the 4 books that I definitely needed to get, and I will be reading them really soon because my exam is upcoming. The first book is The Changeling by Thomas Milton and William Rowley. Next book is The Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. This is a huge ass book that I'm only reading 30 pages of. The next book is Paradise Lost by John Milton. I think I'm gonna really enjoy this one. And then the last book that I got is How to Be a Medieval Woman by Marjorie Kemp. This is a much smaller edition than what I thought, but this is the Penguin Little Black Classics. And I think, you know, for what I paid, it's worth it. So those are all the books that I got in the month of May. Once again, a huge thank you to all the publishing houses who sent me books, and thank you to my dad for buying me books. I definitely, as you can see, have a full shelf. Not that I have the space for all of these, but I'm very much excited nonetheless to read them and see what they're all about. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video isn't too tedious, and I will see you in the next one.